What is up, Insaners, and welcome to our Game Week 27 guide, where I will take you through my team for the upcoming game week along with some popular captain choices. I'll also be discussing my transfer strategy and why I'm making those moves this week. We'll also try to cover some important points around the best Man City options considering they have a double game week in Game Week 27, so make sure you stick around till the end. Let me know if you have any questions around the best Barnes replacements and triple captaincy. I would surely help you out. Another important video, guys, so make sure you hit the like button if you like what you see. You can also subscribe to our channel if you want to get regular updates around FPL for the remainder of the season. It's going to help you make some informed, bold calls and end your season on a high. Now, before we get into the plan for next week, I would quickly cover my team for the huge double game week 26, which is now finally ended. And to be honest, it was a major disappointment for a lot of FPL managers. Most of the premium assets blanked this game week, meaning a lot of FPL managers who used their triple captainship on a big hitter, including us, would have not gained as much as they would have hoped for. Then there was huge rotation among City players, and none of the big teams got any major wins apart from Man City. Overall, we got 94 points and a very small green arrow, meaning that our rank stays around the same 100,000 mark for now. Coming to our team for Game Week 26, our biggest strength this week was our defense. We played a 3-man defense with Martinez as our goalkeeper, and boy, it felt great getting returns from all 4 players. Martinez had an injury scare for the game against Sheffield United, but he played both games. He looked comfortable in both games, giving us 12 points in total. Then we had the double City defense with Stones and Diaz, and surprisingly both scored in their 2-1 win against West Ham while not keeping a clean sheet. As expected, there was rotation in defense with Stones not playing in the second game against Wolves. I feel City looked the better side for almost the whole game, barring a 15 to 20 minute spell where Wolves were really attacking at them. This was a time when Cody scored from a set piece and wiped out Diaz's clean sheet. Our third defender was Luke Shaw, who probably was the best player on the pitch for Man United in 2 goalless draws against Chelsea and Crystal Palace. That at least gave us 2 clean sheets and 12 points for Shaw, so not a bad return from the Man United defender. I feel midfield was where most of the managers lost this week. We only had 1 attacking return from 5 players in spite of 4 of them having a double game week. Harvey Barnes got injured, so that was a bit unlucky. Bruno, Salah and Rafinha all looked quite off and had a really quiet week. Gundogan also just started 1 game against West Ham where he blanked, and his 8 minutes against Wolves gave us the only attacking return from midfield this week. That was quite surprising. Now coming to our attackers, they look promising and should have scored more, but Kane and DCL both missed chances and could only manage a single goal in 4 fixtures among them. We'd also used our triple captainship on Kane, so that was a bit disappointing to see. Kane could have easily got 3 to 4 goals across both games and with some bonus points, but in the end it was just 8 points from 2 games. A week that could have been a lot better with premiums returning or even having Son in our team, but we'll take that and move on to next week. Now let's talk about our team for Game Week 27 and what we are planning to do in terms of transfers and captain picks. We'll start with the defense first. We have Martinez in goal for this week as well. He has been a solid option in goal for us all season. He has decent fixtures till Game Week 30, plus there might be a chance for a double game week in Game Week 28 against Everton, so he's a hold for now. Now Edison from Man City and even Mendy from Chelsea look like better picks. Obviously they don't play in Game Week 29, but you could have someone like an Areola or Sanchez as your second choice keeper, as both have a game in Game Week 29. Chelsea and Man City are surely the 2 best defenses in the league right now. Now you might argue that the keepers don't make a lot of saves. That is because both teams don't concede a lot of chances and shots on goals, but their clean sheet potential is a lot better than the likes of Martinez or Nick Pope. Edison in particular is an interesting option because most of the FPL managers by now would have at least have a double if not a triple up on Man City players, and Edison won't be the go-to choice. We have seen recently that Guardiola is rotating his players a lot, and one place we can nail in his team is his goalkeeper unless he gets injured or has some issue. City still look a good team defensively, and if you would want to double up on City's defense right now, I would probably pick Edison as one of the options. He's similarly priced to Cancelo and Diaz, but has way less ownership than a Stones at the moment, so definitely someone to consider, especially if you're wildcarding this week. Coming to our defense, we're going with a back 3 with Stones and Diaz as a City double up and Luke Shaw as a third defender. Obviously City have a double game week facing Man United and Southampton and look favourites for a couple of clean sheets there. Now there is a high chance that Stones along with Cancelo might just play 1 game with Laporte also in the mix, but we have other places to focus in terms of our transfers and we'll keep both City defenders for now. Our next defender is Luke Shaw, and he's been brilliant this season. He's creating the majority of chances for Man United and looks like the only player from the Red Devils capable of a huge haul apart from Bruno Fernandes. Now in my opinion, United have really struggled against the so-called traditional top 6 sides this season, and I feel City is going to be no different. They have managed to score just a single goal against the likes of Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal this season. Now 5 of these fixtures have been nil-nil draws, and there are high chances that Solskjaer will again go defensively against Man City. To be honest, it's not really the worst fixture from a defensive point of view. Having said that, City can still score a goal or two in the game, but that won't hurt us as much as a blank from someone like a Bruno Fernandes. To summarize, I feel Shaw is still worth keeping this week, unless you don't have any other transfers to make, or probably want to prepare yourself for Game Week 29 and get a West Ham defender who plays Leeds this week. Shaw is definitely worth holding on to. Let's talk about our midfield now. We played a strong 5 last week, but a few performances and results in Game Week 26 have prompted a lot of questions in terms of which premiums to keep and who to get in place of the injured Harvey Barnes. Now both Bruno Fernandes and Salah blanked in Game Week 26. The most concerning thing was that they didn't even look like scoring in both games. Coming to Bruno Fernandes, there's a lot of talk to replace him since a few weeks now, especially with United looking shaky in attack. Now a lot of people would still ask me, why would you want to replace the highest scoring player in FPL this season? But I honestly feel that there's a case to be made here. I won't be surprised to see another blank from Bruno Fernandes against Man City, just as there was against the top Chelsea side. Now after the City game, United play West Ham, who also have a really tight defense, and then have a blank in Game Week 29. So there's definitely something that you could do with all that money. When you're thinking about this, also look at whether you would be captaining him anytime soon. Now just to give you guys some more perspective here, in Game Week 30, Bruno plays Brighton whereas Kane is playing Newcastle. Game Week 31, he plays Tottenham but City is facing Leeds. Then in Game Week 32, he faces Burnley, but then Salah is facing Leeds who do concede a lot of goals. So there's a strong case that you won't be captaining him till Game Week 33, and he could be brought back that week as a transfer, or even if you're playing a free hit that week. Now all this doesn't mean that he's a bad player all of a sudden and he won't get points. He'll definitely score some points. It's just that if you want to break away from the set template and do things a bit differently, you can really do so by getting in KDB or Son as possible replacements. These two definitely have a higher point ceiling as compared to Bruno for the next few weeks. To be fair, we're also thinking on similar lines and probably looking to get Son in place of Fernandes this week. It's not a shot in the dark, but a calculated risk with the plan to get him back in a few game weeks. Coming now to Salah, it seems as though people are also getting a bit frustrated with him not getting any attacking returns. I've seen a lot of FPL managers talking about selling him, and definitely if there was an option between him and Fernandes, then it's probably a clear choice that people would look to keep the latter. However, if you look a bit closer at the recent numbers, they are quite decent for Salah. There's no running away from the fact that he's blanked in 10 of his last 13 games, but he's also scored 4 goals in his last 7 games. Looking at his stats from the last 5 game weeks, he's still among the top 5 midfielders for expected goal involvements. Now if you have seen Liverpool's last 2 games against Sheffield United and Chelsea, there has been a slight change in formation, with Salah playing more like a traditional winger and Mane coming in the centre and attacking way more than the Egyptian. That definitely reduces Salah's threat, but we don't know for sure if that's a permanent change. Overall, I feel with the games against Wolves and Fulham next, we should give him a couple of matches before replacing him from our FPL teams. With Jota also returning, there could be a change in attack, with rotation also coming into play, but for now he's a hold for us. Another discussion this week would be around a potential replacement for Harvey Barnes. The Leicester City attacker got injured against Arsenal, and a lot of FPL managers would be looking for replacements. Now there are some decent options, but 2 particularly stand out. I was reading this article on Fantasy Football Hub, which by the way is a great platform for all FPL related stuff. It lets you do player comparisons across different positions, provides you with all the stats, fixture planner and various expert articles required you to make transfer decisions every week. So if you're interested, do check it out. I've added a link to their website in the description below. So they were talking about Lingard and Rafinha. As we already have Rafinha in our team, we're looking to get Lingard in this week, who's facing a Leeds side and is also looking good for a big haul. Lingard has started every game for West Ham since his signing and has definitely improved the Hammers attack. He should benefit against a weak Leeds defense who would leave a lot of space for him to run into. This is also a transfer keeping Game Week 29 in mind when he plays Arsenal, and I really fancy him and West Ham to do well in that game. Now one small issue with him would be that he doesn't feature in Game Week 28 against his parent club Man United. So if you can manage that by playing 4 midfielders or play an extra attacker or defender that week, he seems like a no-brainer to me. The 4th midfielder we will be playing this week is Ilkay Gundogan. In spite of his mini goal drought, he still looks like the safest pick in the City attack and should feature in both games in Game Week 27. KDB is also a good second option if you're doubling up on the City attack, but we're probably going for the much safer option in Son. He has the potential to hurt us more, plus he's definitely more nailed on than KDB for the next few weeks. You can still look at De Bruyne as a possible replacement to Bruno or Salah if you're okay taking that risk. Our final midfielder this week would be Rafinha, who has looked the best value pick in midfield over the past few weeks. I'm actually surprised that he's still just only owned by 10% FPL managers. Although West Ham could prove a very tricky team to break down, he still has the quality to get something from that game. In attack right now, we're playing a front two with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane completing our playing 11. Harry Kane stays and is a good pick for this week against a Palace side who are proving to be quite a difficult side to predict this season. They might sit back and defend deep, but that should benefit Kane more than Son or Bale, so he stays in our team. Our second striker, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, has been a bit disappointing since we've got him in our team. Carlo Ancelotti has changed things around, with Dominic Calvert-Lewin not playing as a focal point anymore and has Richarlison next to him as the second striker. This means that DCL's attacking threat has significantly reduced and Richarlison has benefited from this, scoring 4 goals in his last 4 games in the league. We have a couple of transfers already planned, but we're also thinking of replacing DCL and getting Antonio, who has a good game this week and then also plays in game week 29. In terms of our bench, we have Loughton and the double Leeds. Rafinha seems to have a better upside than all 3 of these, so we're going ahead with him. Now just to give you guys a summary of our transfer plan for this week, we are thinking of replacing Barnes for Lingard and Bruno Fernandes for Son. Both transfers are obviously keeping game week 29 in mind and should be good picks for game week 27 as well. Our other probable transfer could be Antonio in place of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but the first 2 are a higher priority right now. In terms of our captain picks, there are hardly any surprises here with 2 City players among the top 3 picks. They have a double game week, so that's 2 extra points if they feature in the second game, plus the possibility of an attacking return in both games. Both Gundogan and KDB possess great ability to score goals and provide assists against Man United and Southampton. Now there's an argument in terms of both players probably playing only a single game, but we have seen in the past, especially with Gundogan, that sometimes even a single game is enough to provide a big points haul. Obviously Gundogan is a much safer pick out of the 2, but if you have KDB, there's a huge upside in making him the captain as he's less owned and could provide you a huge rank boost this week. The other option is Harry Kane against Crystal Palace. Kane's score in the past 2 to 3 game weeks could have been very different if he had converted those big chances. He still looks like the best attacking pick from Tottenham and should do well against a Palace side who are the 3rd worst for expected goals conceded over the last 6 matches. Our alternate picks here include Heung-min Son, who has looked more creative with Bale coming in the team and has created the most number of chances over all Spurs players in the last 4 game weeks. Now Mikel Antonio is another good option given that Leeds have a leaky defense and are not good in the air, especially defending set pieces. Now our third pick is where things get a bit tricky. It might not be a very popular one with Mo Salah facing Fulham, a side who has improved leaps and bounds, especially when it comes to defending. With Jota also coming in the mix, things might change for the Liverpool attacker. It surely is a huge risk, but the differential option could help you a great deal if you get something from that game. Hopefully guys, this week brings us more excitement than game week 26 and some huge green arrows too. That'll be all from my side for this video guys. Hopefully I was able to give you answers to some important questions this week. If you want to see more content related to FPL and game week 27, make sure you check out our Instagram page Insanely Football. I will provide a link to our Insta page in the description below. As always, if you're new around here, leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel Insanely Football for all the good FPL stuff. Make sure to lock in your transfers before the deadline this week. It's a Saturday this time, so all the best for game week 27 and I'll see you Insaners next time.